Hey, good morning, everybody. Morgan SLV here. Kind of out and about today. My wife's doing some shopping, so I'm out in the parking lot in my car. 12/1/2010, gold 1387, silver 2847. We had a pretty good move yesterday. It was freaking a lot of people out. You know, I guess since I've been studying this so long, I'm just not, moves up or down. I guess I'm just more, I'm more at home with what it's doing, right? It's reacting. I like the fact that the dollar rose and precious metals rose. I like that. Can anybody say decoupling? Love it. So I'm just going to be just talking a little bit about QE here. I was on one of the sites that I go to sometimes, and checked out some commentary. The last 18 months. 18 months ago is when the financial crisis pretty much began, or at least this leg of it. Their solution was to use QE and fund the banks and take the toxic debt from the banks and absorb it into the Federal Reserve. My question is, who's going to pay for that, right? All those toxic assets that were absorbed, or the fire was put out, so to speak, by QE. Who's going to pay for all that? Who's going to pay for all that reckless monetary, mayhem? We are. Our published debt is 13.7 trillion. 7 years ago, it was 6.5 trillion. So it's doubled in 7 years. Crazy. They say there's $1 trillion deficits as far as the eye can see. Once again, my question remains, who's going to pay for that? We are. I like this little bit of information that I learned. China and Brazil are no longer settling their international contracts with each other with the dollar. They are settling it in other currencies. So, they're no longer going to swallow this fiat mess, right? It's coming to an end, folks. I'm telling you right now, it is coming to an end. I've been reading this stuff long enough and hearing enough prominent people, in the financial markets talking about it. Russia and China are no longer settling their international contracts with the U.S. dollar. 70 to 100 trillion dollars, they say, is our debt. Debt bubble. We take in 1.5 trillion a year. That debt is not serviceable. They're going to keep on printing money. And, one of the things that the commentator said, he goes, it may be that they just feel like the best thing that they can do is devalue our dollar so that they can continue to pay their debts and devalue dollars, right? So before I get to the joke of the day, if we were in a bubble, you hear people talking, well, I don't know, man, silver's at like a 30-year high, and, I don't know if I'd be buying gold. I mean, look at it. It's spot on gold, 1387. Boy, that's awful high. Well, if we were in a bubble, you would expect, all the chatter out there that you hear would be about selling your precious metals, backing out of it, right? Because I can assure you, here's what's wild. When the housing bubble burst, you had all these people standing there, the ones that were not in the know, who did not know what was going on, standing there going, wow, I'll give you a prime example. A friend of mine bought a house for $560,000 2 years ago. His next door neighbor paid 1.3 in 06. For their house, his very next house, and it's in a court. They're not on properties. They're not on acreage. I think they're quarter acre lots, something like that. And so he paid $560. He's had it appraised, I believe now, he's had a couple of homes in his neighborhood sell in the 300s. Right? So that, obviously, they've bought behind the curve. That is continuing to unwind. When the average person with an average job can afford an average house in the U.S., then pricing will be correct. Until that time, it's not correct. But, so as far as the bubble thing goes, check this out in the newspaper today. Buying gold and silver and platinum, 5-day event. right? 5 big days. Cash on the spot for your gold. We want 10 karat, 12 karat, 14 karat, 16, 18, 22, and 24. Gold bracelets up to $2,000. Gold bars up to $15,000. Gold nuggets. Here's what's kind of wild. As you all know, my son's business is going nuts, right? And I won't plug it this time. But, so we have people from time to time come and buy some of his equipment. And you'd be surprised how many people ask, do you have any gold or silver for sale? It's kind of wild. Kind of wild, you know, everybody. There's a lot of people who are on board with this thing that, you know, they need to acquire, you know, an actual asset. Anyway, I don't want to bore you. Bottom line is this, joke of the day. This will be, now I am 47 years old, so this will be anybody, I'm gonna assume people my age and older will get this. So I went to buy a toaster today, and it came with a bank. Morgan SLV out.